She's one of my oldest friends, and I love her. So her family tells amazing, true ghost stories, and they're so amazing that I wrote a poem because of one. And so I want her to give like an abbreviated version of the ghost story for you guys, so you can experience what it's like to sit in their kitchen and hear them tell these stories. And then I'll read you the poem, okay?
And mention this in Rockford. This does take, most of these take place in Rockford, and my mother is much better at telling these than I am, but a very, very long time ago, my aunt and uncle had just gotten married. They were helping their friends move into a very, very, very old house, one that was built, built before most people had even come to Rockford. It was built when Rockford was becoming Rockford. Their friends had just moved in, they needed a lot of help, and my aunt and uncle were young and they just got married and they were happy to come and help. However, when my aunt went to walk up the stairs, she just started feeling really sick, and she didn't know what it was. She thought maybe it was the heat, because it was an old house, there's not a lot of ventilation, any number of things, but she just didn't feel good. She felt fine outside, so she went and laid down in the van and was just kind of hanging out there. My uncle, meanwhile, was helping unshutter the windows, and he was up on a ladder, and they were trying to make sure that they got the boards inside and out. So they had a person inside the house walking around and making sure that the boards came out of the window on the outside and on the inside. So as he was moving the ladder around the house, and he's on the second or third floor, he's pulling shutters off, and he's waiting for somebody to come into this room and help him get the boards off on the other side. And for whatever reason, nobody ever came. So he's, yelling down to his friends, "Can somebody come in this room and take the boards off on the other side?" Well, they walked up into the hallway and the top floor, and they were looking around, and they could not find the door to this room. But my uncle could see into it. He was looking into this room with all of these things that were boarded up in there, and there was a bed, and there was furniture, but it was all just shoved inside, and he couldn't see a door either. So later on, when they were renovating the house, they found this room that had been absolutely, completely walled off. Brick, mortar, plaster, everything. Boarded up the room, took off the door. There was no way in or out. And after the family opened the wall up to get into that room, they moved out about 4 months later.
So this poem is called The Room. I was born in this house, in my mother's bedroom. She said I poured out of her like an anchor. She said that was the moment she knew she could never leave. My favorite part of this house is this spot in the basement where the floor is worn away into a patch of dirt just below the stairs. Sometimes I fall asleep listening to my mother in the kitchen. When she cooks, she sings like she's trying not to dance, but the floor rocks and creaks. If I'm quiet, I can hear her cry. It sounds like the raccoon that was caught in the trap behind our garage. He lived for days. His eyes were so big. I'm not allowed to play in the yard anymore. My mother told me to hold on to my voice. I can hold my breath for a really long time. Sometimes I'm so quiet no one can find me. Sometimes when I hold everything inside me, there's this howl that bellows through our house. It sounds like my father heaving my mother's body against the wall, like her uncontrollable shaking, like the shattering of the back door, but I know he isn't back. I know he isn't here. My mother, she doesn't sleep up here anymore. After he left, she couldn't make it up the stairs without vomiting. She said it smelled like piss and rust. She said something must have crawled into the walls and died. She said she spent a whole day standing in her room staring at all of his clothes until her body became a wet towel. She doesn't come up here anymore. She doesn't know I found you. I can't believe you were right here in the hallway this whole time, between the bathroom and Mother's old bedroom, wearing this new face, waiting for me to find you. When I lean into the wall, I can feel the heat of you against my hands. I can almost see the peeling strips of your wallpaper, how they ladder and stretch until they escape into the ceiling, all of the dust that swirled inside you, the broken legs of the desk chair and the chest of toys. I can hear them all breathing. I miss the aching arms of my bed, tucked against the far corner with its stained quilt asleep on the floor. Would you still moan if I ran across you to the haven of your closet? Would you still hold me if we heard him crawling up the stairs with his fist? Would you swallow me before the downward swing, before everything came spilling out of me like I was trying to swim? Are you still terrified of the dark? Can you open the door? I want to come in. I want to come in, please. I can't find the door. I want to come in. I want to crawl into you. I want to press my ear against the force of your chest and turn the soft click, please. Where is the door? I need to come in.